Hi, I'm Will Taylor. I'm the drummer from MAGGIE, and this is what I do. Well, I first got into music through listening to music in the car with my dad, who played a very big role in my life when I was younger. I remember the first time I wanted to play drums. I was about 5 or 6 years old. An advert for Cadbury's came on with the gorilla playing drums to In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. Since then, I pretty much begged my dad to get me a drum kit. And my dad said, get to grade 2 theory and practical on piano, I'll get you a drum kit. I didn't know this, but my dad was setting up a drum kit in the garage. I wake up Christmas morning, we go in and open our presents. He was like, oh, I've got a surprise for you. He takes me into the garage, I had absolutely no idea, pulls this sheet off my very first drum kit, and I think I might have cried.
My mum used to take me to an open mic night. She took me there about 15 times before I actually got up and played. She schooled me every single week from the beginning of it to the end of it, and I would never get up. I think I was just way too shy to do anything, but I feel like going to music classes in school really helped with that, just because obviously there's other people around, you know. When I first got up, I was shaking a lot, which I still do now. I don't think I ever really truly got over it, just because I'm so nervous all the time. The thing that makes me not do that is literally just closing my eyes. And I remember thinking when I was a kid, like, that's kind of weird to do, but then I saw a video of Adele doing it and I was like, yeah, it's fine. I thought that having a band would make me less nervous. Going from being just singer-songwriter to having a band was basically because I just wanted people with me, and it was the right type of people. When we all came together, it fell together really nicely. I don't even know why or how it happened, but it happened super quickly, and I think that was the nice part about it. It just felt natural.
I had been in high school and I didn't pick a music GCSE whatsoever. My mates was like on piano, took all the guitars that had all the strings, and I was left playing the bass. And it was the only thing that you could plug in really in the entire room, but just playing nothing for about, a week. I thought, you know what, maybe it's time for an apprenticeship. And then I just wasn't good enough for that. Long story short, I ended up in LMA, and then I had to tell my mum on the day that I got accepted that I had just applied for a different college without her knowing. She put it on Facebook. She was trying to get an opinion of like, should I let my son do music instead of trying to be an accountant? And like all the comments was like, if it makes him happy. Edith had messaged the group chat saying, I don't think this band is gonna last next year. I just don't feel like there's the same amount of energy has been put forward. Will denied it, Jack denied it. I just got back from America and I felt like really small and insignificant, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? So I thought, it was kind of like, it's time to get serious now, kind of mode. I thought, I'll take it right now, and I think it was better that I did, because otherwise You would have a good documentary, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like I've made it as a musician would probably be like if I saw like going on Instagram or any kind of social media and I just saw someone else covering my song. I feel like that would be pretty cool. What did Jack say?
I think he said just making money or something.
What do you feel would have to be the case for you to be like, I've made it as a musician now?
I'm trying to put your question into my words. There's two kind of like philosophies about it. Obviously, you want to be rich and famous. You know, rock star lifestyle. But also, I've always said like, music is about how you make people feel, and you know, if you've got a good following and a nice couple of fans who they mean a lot to you and you mean a lot to them. I feel like if that was like how my music career ended, I'd be more than happy with that, in fact, more than happy. So my name's Jack, I play bass did play bass for MAGGIE Witch, and obviously I'm still a part of this new era that we're moving on into. I've always been a big fan of Peter Hook and Andy Rourke. For Andy Rourke, I absolutely love the Smiths. When I was first learning, I learned a lot of his bass lines, the way he played, compared to the other things that I was listening at the time. Whereas with the Smiths, there was a lot more almost funky elements. He's hitting that offbeat, he's hitting those cool notes. Inspiration, especially going into MAGGIE Witch, a band or a genre where it is a bit more restrained in how you can play. As much as we enjoyed it together, I feel like the band itself got a bit stagnant, driven ourselves into a writing style and a way of playing that didn't properly show what we could all do.
At the peak of MAGGIE Witch, we were doing a gig a week, 2 gigs a week sometimes. I feel like as a musician, there's always new goals that you are setting yourself. When I was younger, it was if I do a gig in a bar, like I've made it, or when I get music out, I've made it. I'm constantly wanting to raise the bar each time, really use the mapping of music that my dad set up for me. Goal now is to be living off music.
I think I'll miss most about MAGGIE, which would probably be the jams, to be honest. On a practice day, we'd go through the set, and Will might be trying out a new groove, and then I'll be listening to that groove, and I'll try and get something going, and then we'd still be jamming, and then Edith would come in and just kind of like groove to it, and that was very precious moments. I think the song I'll miss the most will probably be, I think, Killing in the Name of. It's not even our song.
This one night that we were the main support. There was one band before us and there was loads of people there. Everything was empty. There was barely anyone in the room except Edith's mum and a couple of our friends. We decided, fuck it, let's just do a tequila shot.
So yeah, we do actually have a pre-gig ritual. We always have a tequila shot before we go on stage. Any post-gig rituals? Get as drunk as you can, really. Yeah. It depends. If you've played really well, then you know you might go around and speak to everyone and you know have a very social drink.
This is Faye, by the way.
Hiya.
Faye, this is
Hello,
Jack.
Faye. Thank you so much for performing today.
It's all right. No,
You
no,
were
honestly.
absolutely incredible.
We try our best. Try our best.
On the other, if you've not played very well, a couple of tequilas in the back of the room. So
It's all part of the vibe.
We're not alcoholics. Maybe a little bit.
I fucked up a little bit, but we're gonna forget about that. And that's what alcohol is for. So you forget all the mistakes on stage.
I mean, I might have fucked up a single intro, but that doesn't matter. No one's asked about restarts, you see.
I feel like the band itself got a bit stagnant. We didn't have as much enjoyment in Maggie Witch as a project.
And towards the end it did feel like beating a dead horse, you know. It was I just felt like no one was in it anymore, but I wanted to be able to know that everyone was in it, and when I was unsure of that, it made me just feel a bit I think after it was 2 years, I think we were coming up to 2 years, it started to go down a bit, and just the energy was different. The shows were different. So Memento Mori was the first time I screamed, and everyone really enjoyed it. And so when we went on to write songs, it would always be, oh, and you should, you know, be loud at this point. So I just made it sort of screaming all the time. And it got to the point where I wasn't doing their favourite songs at gigs because it was just full of me screaming. I became intense because of that, and I was the tension in the room, because I didn't want to do that stuff and everyone else wanted to. They were, you know, they catered to me and what I would like to do, and I always wrote the set list, and you know. The difference with this new band, I think, is it is really whatever comes to mind. I just know for a fact that I'm not fucking screaming.
Because I lost my dad at such a young age, I constantly think about what he would say. I have an idea or a dream, I want to try my best to fulfill it, because he kind of didn't get to do that.
Does anybody fancy a break?
It's you, isn't it?
No, it's you.
I think it was straight at the front.
Thank you, Rita Maggie Witch.